Most men believe if their wife is cheating, all she has to do is delete a few texts and the truth disappears. Wrong. The ones who really know how to play the game don't rely on something that obvious. They use secret apps, apps that look like calculators, notepads, even simple weather widgets. Innocent on the outside, but inside they're vaults for conversations, photos, and an entire double life. Today, I'm going to expose the four most common apps wives use to hide affairs. Over the next 8 minutes, I'll break down how each one works, the exact red flags to watch for, and what it really means if you find them on her phone. And remember, I'm a woman. I know how women think, how we plan, and how we hide. I've watched wives who looked perfect in public, all while running these secret lives in private. Before we dive in, hit that like button if you want truth over lies, subscribe, and drop a comment with the city you're watching from so I know where the sharpest men are tuning in. The mask of innocence. The most dangerous kind of betrayal is the one that hides in plain sight because it doesn't come dressed in obvious lies. It comes cloaked in something that looks harmless, even ordinary. That's exactly how certain apps work when wives use them to cover up affairs. On the surface, these apps look like everyday tools. Apps you wouldn't think twice about seeing on someone's phone. Social media, chat platforms, storage apps, even productivity tools. They sit on the screen just like everything else, blending in, looking normal, looking innocent. But behind that mask, they serve a darker purpose, one designed to hide conversations, secret contacts, and an entirely different life. When you pick up her phone and see one of these apps, your first thought might not be suspicion. You think it's for pictures, for messaging, or for organizing. You assume she's using it the same way you would use it. That's exactly the trap. Because while you're thinking it's innocent, she knows the secret settings, the private folders, the disappearing features that keep her digital tracks covered. She can lock entire conversations, set up alternate profiles, and create walls you'll never notice unless you know what you're really looking at. The mask of innocence works because it plays on trust. A woman who is hiding something doesn't choose apps that scream secrecy. She doesn't want to draw attention. She chooses apps that give her plausible deniability. If you ever ask about it, she can shrug and say, "Oh, it's just for sharing photos," or "I use it to keep notes." The cover story is built into the app's innocent appearance, and that's where most men fail because they believe the surface. They don't dig deeper to see what's really going on underneath. What makes this tactic so effective is how it blends deception with routine. She still uses the app in front of you sometimes, making it seem harmless. But there's a side of it you're never meant to see. That other account, that hidden folder, that private chat, all tucked away under layers of settings you didn't even know existed. She'll master the art of switching between innocent use and secret use in seconds. It's rehearsed, it's controlled, it's precise. You might watch her scroll on that app 100 times and never realize that each swipe is calculated to protect the hidden life inside it. The mask also relies on your distractions. Most men are too busy or too trusting to notice the details. You see the app and it doesn't register as a threat. You see her smile and assume everything is fine. Meanwhile, the mask grows stronger. The longer the app sits unnoticed, the deeper the hidden conversations go. The more comfortable she gets using it, the more reckless she can become. And by the time you finally sense something is off, months or even years of secrets could already be buried inside it. The real danger isn't the app itself. It's what the app represents. It's a reminder that betrayal doesn't announce itself. It hides, it blends, it plays innocent. It looks you in the eye and pretends to be nothing more than what you expect. That's why the mask of innocence is so powerful. Because when deception is dressed up as normalcy, most men never see it coming. Hidden features, hidden affairs. The truth about these apps is that they are not just what they seem on the surface. They are built with layers designed in ways that allow two completely different realities to exist inside one icon on a phone screen. What appears as a simple messaging tool, a gallery, or a harmless utility often carries hidden features that only those who are looking to cover their tracks ever bother to learn. This is how wives build entire secret spaces that remain invisible to a trusting husband's eyes. A messaging app, for example, is not always just a messaging app. Some of them allow disappearing messages that vanish the second they are read. Others have secret chat modes that cannot be recovered once deleted. Some even disguise conversations under locked codes, making it nearly impossible for anyone without the password to ever uncover them. Then there are vault-style apps that look like photo storage but actually hide contacts, files, and entire chats behind fake fronts. To anyone scrolling through the phone, it looks like an ordinary album or calculator, but to her, it's a doorway to a hidden life. These hidden features make it possible to maintain two lives at once. On the surface, she can show you a phone that looks clean, ordinary, and innocent. But one swipe, one password, one hidden folder, and she is in a completely different world. One where she can talk, share, and connect with someone else without leaving a visible trace. This is the duality that technology has created. It gives her the ability to switch roles in seconds, to step into loyalty when you're watching, and into secrecy when you're not. What makes this more dangerous is how seamlessly these hidden features are woven into normal use. For example, a disappearing chat can look just like a regular conversation until the moment it erases itself. A locked gallery can look like an empty folder until the right code is entered. These tools aren't loud or obvious. They don't call attention. They are subtle, calculated, and designed for discretion. She can maintain an affair while holding the phone in her hand, sitting right next to you because the hidden features erase the evidence as quickly as it is created. The cleverness of this tactic is that it gives her total control over exposure. She decides what you see and what you don't. She can hand you her phone with confidence because she knows the second layer is sealed away. You might even check her apps thinking you're being cautious, but you're only looking at the surface version. The hidden part never reveals itself unless she allows it. That control over perception is what makes these apps the perfect shield for deception. Technology has created a new kind of secrecy. Affairs no longer need to rely on long phone calls or suspicious late-night texts that can be easily discovered. Instead, everything is hidden in plain sight, behind features that erase, lock, or disguise. This creates an environment where betrayal thrives undetected, where the mask of loyalty can remain untouched while an entire hidden relationship is being built behind digital walls. Behavior never lies. Technology may provide the tools for secrecy, but it is behavior that gives away the truth. No matter how carefully she hides behind apps, no matter how deeply she buries her conversations in disappearing chats or hidden folders, the way she treats her phone and the changes in her daily patterns will always reveal more than the screen itself. A woman protecting a secret doesn't act the same as a woman with nothing to hide. She becomes hyper-aware, more guarded, and more protective over a device that once felt ordinary in her hands. The first sign comes in the way she handles her phone. It might never leave her side anymore. Where she once casually left it on the table face up, now it is always face down or tightly clutched. The phone becomes an extension of her, something she refuses to part with even for a moment. Trips to the kitchen, short showers, even quick errands. Suddenly the phone is glued to her hand or hidden in a pocket. That small shift, that unwillingness to separate from it, is behavior screaming louder than any app icon ever could. Another red flag is her reaction to interruptions. If a notification comes in and you happen to glance at the screen, notice the way she responds. A sudden snatch, a quick lock, or an overreaction to what should be something simple. That's behavior that betrays unease. When there's nothing to hide, there's no reason to panic. But when the phone contains hidden conversations and secrets tucked away in apps, every buzz feels like a threat. That tension, that urgency to cover the screen is not technology. It is human behavior exposing the truth. Her patterns of usage also change. You might notice she stays up later, scrolling with the brightness dimmed low, or she steps into another room to send what looks like an ordinary message. She may start using headphones more often, not because she is enjoying music, but because it creates a barrier that keeps you from overhearing. The behavior surrounding the device shifts into secrecy, and that is the part most men ignore until it becomes undeniable. Even her language changes. She might suddenly defend her right to privacy more than she ever did before. Not because she values independence, but because the apps she's using are built on hidden features that only survive if no one else is looking. A simple question like, "Who are you texting?" becomes a trigger, met with defensiveness or irritation. That isn't about independence, it's about protection of the secret world that lives inside her phone. Technology can erase messages, lock folders, and hide entire conversations. but it cannot erase human nature. A woman carrying the weight of a secret is forced to adapt her behavior to protect it. She becomes more alert, more protective, more inconsistent in ways that don't match the life she once lived. And while you may never see the hidden features of those apps with your own eyes, you will always see the changes in her actions if you're paying close enough attention. What it really means. When secret apps are present on a phone, it is never just about convenience or harmless privacy. It points to something far deeper, something that has nothing to do with technology and everything to do with intention. What those apps represent is not just hidden conversations or disappearing messages, but a conscious choice to build walls of secrecy. It means the person using them is no longer living in transparency, no longer allowing trust to flow freely, and instead is investing energy into deception. For men who discover these apps, the natural instinct is often to rationalize. Maybe she just likes privacy. Maybe she downloaded it without thinking. Maybe it's innocent. But the truth is, people do not stumble into secret apps by accident. They do not keep disappearing message platforms on their phone for no reason. They do not maintain vaults unless there is something inside that they want to protect. The very existence of these apps is an admission that something is being hidden and that should never be ignored. What it really means is that there are two versions of reality taking place at the same time. The version she shows you where everything seems normal, and the version she hides, protected by passwords, vaults, and features designed to leave no trace. Those two realities cannot coexist without deception. And once that duality exists, the foundation of trust in the relationship is already broken. Trust is not just about words spoken to your face, but about the integrity that continues when no one is watching. Secret apps eliminate that integrity because they are built for the very purpose of creating another layer of life away from your eyes. It also means that the emotional bond between you has shifted. When she invests time and energy into protecting another relationship or another communication channel, that energy is being taken away from you. Affairs are not only about physical betrayal, they are about the mental and emotional investment that gets redirected. Every secret message, every hidden photo, every carefully erased chat represents time she could have given to you, but chose to give elsewhere. The apps don't just hide actions, they hide where her loyalty is being directed. The truth about what it really means comes down to choice. No one is forced to download these apps. No one is tricked into using them. It is a decision, a premeditated step towards secrecy and ultimately betrayal. And while the surface may look like just another phone with just another app, the reality is far heavier. Because behind every hidden folder, behind every disappearing chat, is the undeniable fact that the relationship you thought was whole is being divided into parts you were never meant to see,